Fight the kleptocracy. Have you been fighting the kleptocracy?
Is that like fighting the man?
Kinda. The bad man. So today we are going to look at what is a kleptocracy. I'm not too proud to admit that I'm 56 years old and I've learned 2 new words recently.
Okay. I did not know. I know is kleptocracy with kleptomaniac. I know that. Like klepto is stealing.
It's
I don't know
governments or officials that are stealing from their countries, from their people.
Okay.
So we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about.
Is this going to bum me out?
It's scary. Okay. I'm going to go to the actual. I was going to talk. I was like, you know what? Me describing it does not do it justice. So we're going to talk about the FinCEN advisory. Are you familiar with FinCEN?
No.
Financial.
Not at all.
Crime Enforcement Network.
Oh my!
So
like
this
for reals.
This is for reals.
Okay.
And I got a bulletin I think back in April, and I'm Mark McKay.
And I'm Marcy McKay.
And welcome to Sage Smart Solutions. Please join us weekly. Like and subscribe to our channel. Join us weekly as we look at new and exciting ways to get Uncle Sam out of your retirement plan. Protect your assets and retire tax-free. Okay, what were we talking about?
Kleptocracy.
So, for the past 10, 15, 20 years, on a regular basis, I have to do anti-money laundering training. And, with various companies that I'm contracted with, they will have their own form of anti-money laundering training. And so I was kind of familiar with that and things to look at. You had stories from the late 90s of the guys coming in with the briefcases full of cash and sliding it under there. And so they would give us things to look for.
Right.
Look for guys with big briefcases full of money. And, fortunately the banks aren't building the teller windows so that they can accept the cartel briefcases anymore. So they just do it all through crypto overseas now.
Exactly. It's all Bitcoin.
So we're gonna look at what is a kleptocracy? I'm not too proud to admit that I'm 56 years old, and I've learned several new words lately. I actually looked up what FinCEN meant. I'd gotten advisories from a while. I'm like, what? And it's the Financial Crime Enforcement Network. We're going to look at their advisory and some of the scary language they have.
Lay it on me.
Okay. All right, so here we are. Like I mentioned, FinCEN is the Financial Crime Enforcement Network. And I talked about how they for years, I've had to keep track of anti-money laundering. But another one that I was not that familiar with the term was CFT, and that's countering the financing of terrorism. So if you think about why this is important, other than the fact that we're, on the lookout for people who are crooked, I think it says here, corrupt public officials may engage in bribery, embezzlement, extortion, and the misappropriation of public assets among other forms of corrupt behavior. Or have like 7,000 pairs of shoes, that kind of thing.
This is like a crime novel.
Yeah.
This is like a spy movie or something.
Yeah, I was thinking, this would be a great, but then of the crimes, this is like the most boring of,
Okay, so,
because it's people pushing,
So is this other countries that the United States?
Yeah, when they're talking about kleptocracy, we're looking for people that are exploiting, via the use of the government, they're exploiting their people, their countries. We'll go to the definition. I do think it's interesting. This is an actual advisory that went out a couple of months ago, and some of this is fairly new. But there's another word I didn't know before: typologies.
Okay, so there's
that sounds like a $5 word for types. What's the difference in typology? I'll get back to you on that one, people. All right, here, I'll let Marcy read this one. Her eyes are pretty much younger than mine.
Kleptocracy is a government. Did I say that wrong? Kleptocracy. Klep.
That's not what you were saying.
Kleptocracy is a government controlled by officials who use political power to appropriate the wealth of their nation for personal gain, usually at the expense of the governed population. That's scary.
Well, yeah, it is scary. I mean, and you saw it. They mentioned Russia.
So yeah,
quite extensively.
Okay, and so that's what I was about to say.
I think that was one of the reasons that this specific advisory went out in April. But Russia is of particular concern as a kleptocracy because
Kleptocracy.
you can't say it.
Kleptocracy.
Because of the nexus between corruption, money laundering, malign influence, and armed interventions abroad. So this is important stuff, but that's the other word. I didn't realize malign could be used like an adjective.
Yeah.
I thought it was a verb.
A kleptocrat uses their position and influence to enrich themselves and their networks of corrupt actors. Yeah, this is totally a spy movie. This is like a Da Vinci Code kind of thing. Dan Brown, where are you?
Well, when they first did the sanctions, they had, all these billionaires in Russia, which, how do you become a billionaire anyway in a socialist communist country? Through kleptocracy. Simple.
So when
but they were hiding yachts, mega multi,
okay,
40, 50, $100 million yachts. But it can be other things. It can be just them trying to move assets so that,
So do they feel like this is being heightened right now because of the war in Ukraine?
Oh, I definitely think.
Okay, so all these billionaires
because
are like,
if you've abused,
I gotta hide my money.
Well, exactly. If you've been abusing the people and that's how you made your money for 20 years, and all of a sudden there are sanctions and the potential for seizing of assets or that sort of thing, these people are panicking, so money starts moving around. And, the average person does not need to worry about being on the lookout for kleptocracy. But the average person in the financial services industry probably does. And, anyway, the FinCEN advisory goes into great detail. I just thought it was fascinating.
So, like other things besides yachts, what are they doing that's corrupt?
Well, it's not. It's the yacht's not corrupt. It's the way they got the money. The yacht
I guess that's true.
The yacht is a store of value. So it's moving assets around. It's setting up shell companies that are buying. When all of a sudden you have a $272 million family office wanting to put money into gold or treasuries or whatever. You need to say, hey, where'd the money come from?
Right.
That's basically what it boils down to is them trying to legitimize these assets and these things that they stole from their people. So I think the key thing is that I have learned 3 new words. Malign can be used as an adjective.
Kleptocracy.
And typologies.
And FinCEN.
FinCEN, I knew the word, but I had never bothered to. I assume there's so many of those little acronyms, and when it comes to regulatory bodies and financial service in that industry,
it is very disconcerting, very very troubling.
You know what? But I'm glad that there is an advisory, and they are putting out advice and and making people aware of what to look for, and it doesn't really apply to people. I guess now that we're global, worldwide. I get some strange comments and emails and DMs, so usually I blow them off. I guess I should ask, are you a kleptocrat? So anyway, if you would like to avoid kleptocracy and protect your assets from the upcoming financial storm, and I guess we're in the middle of this storm right now, and from
watch our masterclass.
Higher taxes, go watch our masterclass. Now is the time to tighten up that core, protect your assets, set it up so that you have options during retirement. When the government raises taxes, when the stock market crashes, have choices. Have a great week.